Scarpins Avenue.
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Sklarbro Country, the virus edition, a.k.a. the Pandy Pods.
A.K.A. Two Jews, no Rod Carews.
A.k.a. Halloween has pumpkins, St. Pat's has clover, two guys that thank you for your greeting, but Hanukkah's over. That's Kurt Sounds.
Sounds. What's up, people? It's
Love it.
Friday. We're heading into another weekend.
And guess what tomorrow night is? Live Down People Town. Get your tickets.
Last minute, still some tickets available. We want to see you guys there. Damn it.
It's Zach Galifianakis and John Paul White of the Civil War. It's going to be an awesome show.
So much fun.
Live Down People Town. Go to eventbrite.com. Look up Live Down People Town. Get your tickets there. And we'd love to see you. It is always a blast. Have a night out while you're in. You deserve it.
You
All
do
right.
deserve it.
Let's
Okay,
jump into
here we
the
go.
story, Jay.
All right. We are approaching 1 full year almost of this pandemic.
March is a year.
Yeah. So we're 2 months away from being a year out.
Mm-hmm.
I've been thinking about that a lot. We've
Yeah.
talked about this before on this podcast. It's an extremely different pandemic experience for people who have kids versus people who don't have kids.
If you have older kids like I do versus younger kids, there's like a
I think it's like there's like a 7 or 8 year old like cutoff where like they're not quite as independent and you need to be around them and with them and dealing with them at all times. That regular life affords you some breaks.
Right.
So it's stressful. And I think we're spending too much time with our kids.
definitely.
And at the same time, I think it's wonderful.
Yeah.
Let me also say that.
It can be. We can hold two things in our hands at once.
I'm gonna miss this when it's done.
Me too.
I'm really gonna miss this, but it is exhausting.
It is tiring like nobody's business.
It's a different kind of fatigue than people who are kidless. than
Yeah,
the thing
are
that they're facing.
Those people are tired of being alone.
Parents are just
Tired.
freaking tired.
Yeah,
And I can honestly,
I can sleep standing up,
Yeah,
and we just got the puppy. The puppy is
it's like you have a baby now.
yeah, it is.
I can speak for myself, and Randy can speak for himself. When you are tired and you are parenting, it's like being hungry and canoeing with your lover.
Yeah, it's a bad. It's a
gonna
bad
get chippy.
combo.
It's gonna get chippy.
It's gonna get chippy. You're gonna get mad.
You're going to say things you wish you could take back.
That's right. Just don't talk. If
Do you not know that when you go on this side, then it turns us that way? You don't know that it turns you the opposite way? Sorry, just checking, because it feels like you
are
don't
you
know what
sweating as much as I am? Because I'm doing a lot of paddling back
Ooh,
here.
I'm worried. I might take a little break like you did for the last 40 minutes.
It's
Whoa!
you got to cut that out. Can't do
Wow.
that. Can't do that.
So you're going to regret some things you say.
That's how you feel every day.
You're going to regret some of your choices every day. You go through countless
Your
moments.
kids get up at 6:45.
So my daughter is up at 6:45, and my son stays up until like midnight. So that's to be on the clock as a parent that long in one day. Think about that.
That's a lot.
It's like almost 17 hours on the clock
and
all
you've told
day.
your kids that. You've explained that to
Which
them.
you should never tell your kids. You should never be like, I'm done. I'm off the clock. I've been on the clock too long with you people.
Yeah, no kid wants to view their life and
As a factory job that you don't want.
That's right. With zero overtime. You don't get paid overtime.
But let me just say this: factory workers who work
at an asbestos factory.
at least they get breaks.
Yeah.
They get lunch breaks.
They get time off. They get more time off than parents in this pandemic.
But there's so much time in that like 16-hour togetherness
there's
marathon.
time for love and joy, and then time for hate
and disdain and disappointment and annoyance, and then it comes back around to love and joy again. It really does. There's enough
and
time
then and then in Jay's case, you have breakfast.
Then it's time for breakfast. But throughout the pandemic, I am constantly regretting things I say to my kids, how I say them to my kids.
They're the people you're around the most, so they're gonna get the brunt of it.
All of my frustrations with this, all my frustrations with the world, it's coming out on them. I tell them on New Year's Eve that this is a classic moment. I told them on New Year's Eve
They can stay up all night.
as long as they can. And then I decide that I'm like tired at like 12:30 and I'm like, I got to go to bed. You guys got to go to bed. But I had told them that they could stay up all night. I went back on my word as a parent.
That's right.
Countless other examples like that. And I imagine that most parents are going through this.
Snap decisions followed by regret. It's canoeing while you're hungry with your partner. Don't do it.
And that's what brings us to Bean Dad. Now, I don't know if Bean Dad regrets what he did. I don't even know if you guys know who Bean Dad is. Bean Dad, he's a podcaster. Our buddy Alex Edelman says he likes him and listens to him.
Is a really good podcast.
I've never listened to his podcast. He does
I
a
wanna
podcast
listen to
with
it
Ken
now.
Jennings. Maybe he's a great guy. I'm assuming he might be a good guy. So I'm assuming that it's possible that he could be a good guy. That's what I want to assume.
Don't hedge your bet on that, Jay.
Bean Dad is a dad who refused to show his 9-year-old daughter how to open a can of beans in order to teach her a lesson on how to do it.
And by the way, he is a podcaster who has worked very hard to develop what he does, and now he's known as Bean Dad.
And he made her struggle for 6 hours to do it. Not only did he not regret his choice, he tweeted about it, okay?
That is maybe the thing.
So that's the part of it that's the hardest part. Because I think he was... So, look, I make choices.
By the way, you can tweet about it after the fact.
So one time I tweeted, my son wanted a piece of chocolate at night, and my wife and I fought it for like 20 minutes of like, no.
20 minutes? You fought it for the whole night.
Half an hour. No. This was like half an hour, 45 minutes, whatever it was, until he got tired, and then we just set the limit. And when you set the limit with a kid, the analogy I came up with, and I tweeted this, but I didn't like brag about the limit I set with my kid.
You weren't tweeting his reaction to you being mad the whole time.
And I didn't say I held out for so. I just said when you set a limit with your kid and stick to it, it's like forcing an opponent into a shot clock violation on defense. And Shane Battier retweeted that.
He gets it. He forced a lot of...
That's a guy who has kids, and he's also a great defender.
Okay.
So I wasn't looking for the adulation, but I was happy that Shane Battier... So I guess I could kind of understand tweeting about it, but this guy, he did this thing where he forced his daughter without help to learn how to open up a can of beans for what he calls 6 hours, which I don't know if it necessarily happened 6 hours. But he thought he was so proud of himself.
By the way, the kid did figure it out 6 hours later. So I guess it has a happy ending.
Right. Well, he has now deleted the tweets, and he's off of Twitter. So I guess it does have a...
It's a victory for good parenting is what he claimed.
He claimed it was. So I don't think you can claim that until you see how your relationship with your kid turns out like 15 years ago.
Exactly.
Let time decide if it was a victory for good parenting. That's early. That's like running off.
He could start a new parenting podcast.
He could, and Bean Dad podcasting, Bean Dad parenting,
brought to you by Tostitos. I'm in.
Or Goya beans. But look, here's the thing. He definitely triggered a debate. Like half of this country or half of his followers were like, good on you, sir. You taught him right.
That's right.
We've created a generation
of pussies.
Look, I know there are people out there who are like, we're too soft on our kids. We're too, but like, I don't think. I think there's a nuanced way to get to it.
That's right. It's not all one or the other. By the way, I don't think it's a bad thing to tell your kids, figure it out. I'll come and help you if you need my help, but try and figure it out.
That's right.
I want you to try and figure it out. By the way,
I do want to know what his podcast is. The Pretty Great Santini.
That'd be amazing.
Have fun in therapy.
It's with Ken Jennings. So maybe it's...
Again, we
Ken
agree.
Jennings defended
it is good to teach your kids how to... This part of it, I actually agree
What if
with.
he said this? If there was one small tweak, Jay, and I ask you this. If he said, I'm going to show you how to do this once.
Right.
That's it. You get one. I'm never going to show you again. I'm showing you once, so you have to pay attention, and then for the rest of your life, you'll know how to open a can of beans. But I'm making a big deal out of this right now because I'm teaching you how to do it once, and then don't ever ask me again.
He didn't say that.
No.
He said his daughter came to him and said, I want a can of baked beans, which we'll get into the responses and we'll get into what other parents said on the other side of this break. We're going to take a break right now. When we come back, we'll talk more about Bean Dad on Sklarbro Country, the Virus Edition.
Stay with us. Hey guys, welcome back to the show. Get your tickets for the live Dumb People Town. Follow us on Instagram. Follow us on TikTok. We are at Sklar Brothers. Follow us on our Facebook page. Become a fan of our Facebook page, Sklar Brothers. We'd love to have you on all that stuff.
Sklar Brothers on that. Sklarbro Country is the YouTube page.
Yeah, Sklarbro Country.
So hit all that stuff. And let's
when we left, we were talking about
Bean Dad, a guy whose daughter came to him and said, "I want baked beans," and the dad said, "Aha! This is a teachable moment."
That's right.
I have a chance to show my daughter how to open, and she didn't know how to open up the can of beans. And he decided, I'm going to let her struggle with this for what he called 6 hours.
So that's 6 hours. I mean, if she ate lunch at noon, and
it's not.
Ate
Some
dinner
people
at 6,
claim neglect. I don't know about that.
It's not neglect. It's just like not It is what it is. But here's the thing. Like, we shouldn't even be weighing in on this at all. Why?
Because
Why are we
he
even
tweeted
weighing?
it. So this is the kind of guy who I believe, and I don't know exactly his beliefs, but he sounds like the kind of guy that's like mad that they give out trophies to everyone in a league. But yet to tweet out your accomplishment within the thing is, in a sense, looking for a digital trophy for what you did.
Which you want
a public trophy. You want people to publicly give you adulation for your choice.
Which, by the way, again, this is your choice to parent your kid. I don't think it's neglect. Do it on your own.
I think he was looking for publicity. I think he was looking for a bunch of people. He wanted to stir the pot, and he did, and I think that's cool. He wanted people to jump to his defense.
That's right.
He's trying to tap into a jet stream of people who agree with his type of parenting.
That's right.
Twitter nicknamed the father Bean Dad as the incident caused another heated debate on social media where parenting methods are frequently a cause of disagreement. So,
I mean, I definitely think kids these days can't do for themselves enough.
Agreed.
But on the other hand, I watch your 7-year-old daughter on Zoom and operate the computer in terms of like figuring that stuff out. Like, your 7-year-old daughter understands Zoom better
than like senators from Mexico.
Yep. Better than the Argentinian government. She gets it.
There was a moment where we were on a family Zoom, okay? And someone else was talking, but we wanted to see my brother-in-law's baby. But we didn't want to only see him when someone else was talking. And Noah, my daughter, just went boop, 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 and then put all three on the screen. And I was like, I don't even know if I knew how to do that.
So they can do some things. They maybe don't know how to use, because they've never seen it, a can opener before. So
right.
What do you do as a parent? You got to teach them how to use it. And then if they're like, I forgot how to use it, then you can yell at them and let them take 6 hours to do it.
By the way, let's go back to the daughter. Your daughter's 9 and she's asking to eat baked beans. Like, that's
pretty cool.
A victory.
That's great.
That's good parenting right now. How about the fact she wants baked beans and not chicken nuggets?
Yeah.
And not McDonald's.
Take that as a parenting win.
Tweet that, bitch.
After she brought him the tin opener and the can of beans,
he asked her how she thought a tin opener worked, and that's what he said.
By the way, I'm still on board with this.
He's not a douche yet. He's not a douche yet. When she said she didn't know, he said he realized that teaching moment had just dropped into his lap, as we said before. By the way, for those who don't have kids, teaching moments come up all the time. Like, this is not a big deal.
And by the way, most of us don't stand up and say, wow, this is a teachable moment.
Yeah, I taught my 7-year-old how to ride a bike the other day in 5 minutes. I didn't brag about it all over the place. I did post a picture of her riding for the first time, but that was more about her birthday. But I am saying this, like, yes, I went to YouTube. I looked at a 5-minute video. It said, here's how you show a kid how to ride a bike in 5 minutes without training wheels. It did it. It was a teachable moment.
And you threw her into the fire. She had never ridden a bike before.
Never. It was a teaching moment. I did it. And you could argue that
literally took the training wheels off and said, go do it.
I took an old school approach, literally and figuratively, and she did. Did I live tweet it, though?
No.
And ask for adulation and shit on everyone who uses training wheels? No. I didn't.
Who cares?
And I'm a podcaster.
That's right.
He wrote, Apocalypse Dad was overjoyed. Apocalypse Dad, by the way, is what your daughter's going to call you when she gets old enough to know you.
Yeah, exactly.
P.S. We are in the middle of an apocalypse right now.
Yep. Yes, we are.
Explained that he wanted his daughter to learn how to open a tin of beans. He said she tried for 6 hours.
Give
your daughter beans and she eats for a meal. Watch her struggle to open a can for 6 hours, and you give her a reason to resent you for her entire life.
Yep. Therapy. People in therapy are like, thank you. We'll take her. Bring her on in.
So this is what he wrote. She was right next to me, grunting and groaning, trying to get the thing. I should say that spatial orientation, process visualization, and order of operation are not things she intuits. I knew this would be a challenge. Okay, so you knew
that
she was going to struggle with this task, and you didn't want to give her any help at all.
By the way, you can let her try and do it for a half hour.
It's not like if you help her in any way, she's not going to be able to do it in the end.
Right.
Look, Randy and I both said we are all for letting kids struggle, figure things out. 40 minutes.
Fail.
40 minutes.
Whatever.
Give her a tip.
Or let it go 6 hours and don't frickin' tweet it. Who cares?
There's no way, by the way, your 9-year-old stuck with this for 6 hours.
No way.
I'm sorry.
If she did that, then she's amazing.
6 hours is an eternity. Then you can actually start bragging on Twitter that my daughter has the best attention span of any 9-year-old
Maybe
ever.
an hour. I'll give her a trophy for her attention span.
He's exaggerating I'm calling bullshit on the 6 hours.
Maybe. You don't know, Jay. Eventually she opened the can and ate the beans. Okay? So
good for her. And I'm sure she appreciates you more for making her struggle for so long. The tweets were quickly shared widely as other users condemned the incident, suggesting it was poor parenting. I don't know if it's so. Okay, so as much as I'm like, I don't think it's poor parenting.
It's not poor parenting. It's not.
I think it's pandering parenting.
Right.
Pandering to the Make America Great Again crowd. The people who are like, back in my day, my dad didn't hold my hand through learning how to do this, that, and the other. Wasn't it better back then? Well, maybe some things were better, but not everything. Definitely. It's kind of in its own way. It's kind of weak. I feel like it's super valuable to teach kids that they're not alone in the world and that there's no shame in asking other people for help and support, wrote journalist Jason Schreier. I agree with that.
Yeah. There's a balance between the two,
right?
Okay, between doing everything for your kids and also letting them try and fail at things.
Isn't that the evolution of parenting?
Yeah.
So if we imagine us as a race of people, parents included, that we're all hopefully learning how to get better and better, that hopefully our generation is better at dealing with things than the generation before us and a little better in certain ways. Like, wouldn't we want to evolve? Why are we trying to go back 3 generations?
I'm going to say this, and for all the people that are jumping down this guy's throat, you're idiots.
You're also
too.
an idiot.
You're idiots too, just looking for a target to go down. So here's what I would say. And parenting for me has been about making mistakes and then correcting it the next time.
Correct. And I don't think he made a mistake necessarily.
I don't think he did either.
I'm just saying he was trying to get out there and get a bunch of people to get on board with him. And to me, that was the mistake he made. Not in parenting. You can parent your kid however you want.
It's your thing.
And maybe you know this girl better than anyone else. And I'm sure it wasn't 6 hours. Maybe it was an hour and a half or 2 hours. But I'm sure the kid felt great when she figured it out and she got it done. That was a great moment for her.
So here's the question, and this is how we'll wrap it up right here, is this. Here's the question. If he gets to the next situation with her, does he let her struggle for 6 hours, or does he learn his lesson and say, you know what, I'll let her try and do it for a little bit, and then I'm going to try and help her out? Does he change? Does he evolve? Because to me, that's the best thing that parenting has taught me, is that you yourself can evolve when you're stuck in your own ways, because that's the best lesson you can teach your kid, is that, hey, I did it this way one time and that took a long time and maybe that wasn't great. I'm going to change and do it this way, because that's what you are ultimately teaching your kids.
On Sunday, by the way, final note, the podcast My Brother and Me said it would no longer be using Mr. Roderick's music. I guess he's a musician, presumably to teach him a valuable lesson.
Maybe, but
keep your parenting brags to yourself. Hey, I'm, by the way, not judging what you did.
Nope.
I'm not. Because
at all.
We joked about it.
By the way, you do it your way.
You do it your way, but you don't need to tweet about it.
There you go.
You don't need to try to get the Make America Great crowd
if you do tweet about it, just understand that people are going to throw you heat,
right?
Or they're going to love you and they're going to. Well,
he opened up a debate. And good for him. He drew attention to himself. Maybe that's what he wanted all along. So in some ways, maybe he succeeded beyond his wildest dreams.
You won because we're talking about it on this show. Guys, you win because...
Bean Dads!
We love you. We love you. All right, guys, stay connected, stay protected. Don't get infected.
This is not a hoax.
But we got the jokes. We'll see you tomorrow night on the Live Down People Town. And have a good weekend. Talk to you Monday.
La-ti-da, la-ti-da-ti-da-ti-da, la-ti-da-da.